Hello, and welcome back to the PowerHab English channel. I'm truly delighted that you've chosen to spend your time here with me today. Let me start by asking you a simple yet important question. Have you ever walked into a room and completely forgotten why you came in? Or maybe you've found yourself struggling to recall everyday details, like the names of people you've just met, important appointments, or even where you placed your phone or keys. If any of this sounds familiar, please know that you're definitely not alone in feeling this way. In today's incredibly fast-paced and information-overloaded world, our brains are constantly being pulled in a million directions at once. We are juggling numerous tasks, notifications, deadlines, and distractions all day long. It's no wonder that things tend to slip through the cracks, and sometimes our memory just doesn't seem as sharp as we want it to be. But here's the truly exciting part. Your memory isn't something fixed or unchangeable. It's not a static trait you're stuck with for life. Instead, memory is a skill, a powerful mental muscle that you can strengthen and develop through the right techniques and consistent practice. Just like you can train your body to run faster or lift heavier weights, you can train your brain to remember better, think clearer, and retain information longer. In this video, I'm going to guide you through a set of practical, easy-to-follow, and science-backed methods that anyone can use to enhance their memory, starting right now. These aren't complicated or time-consuming hacks that require hours of effort. They are simple, effective strategies designed to fit seamlessly into your daily life. Whether you're a student trying to remember complex lessons more easily, a busy professional juggling multiple projects and meetings, or someone who simply wants to keep their mind sharp and agile as the years go by, this video is here to help you. The techniques I'll share will not only help you improve your memory, but also boost your overall cognitive function, making learning and thinking more enjoyable and efficient. So I encourage you to stay tuned until the very end because what you learn here today could completely transform the way you think, learn, and remember. You have the power to change your mental habits and unlock your brain's full potential. Are you ready to take control of your mind and start boosting your memory like never before? Then let's jump right in and begin this exciting journey together. What exactly is memory? At its core, memory is your brain's extraordinary ability to store, organize, and retrieve information when you need it. Imagine your brain as a vast, well-organized personal library filled with countless books. Every new experience you have, every fact you learn, and every moment you think about is like adding a new book to the shelves of this mental library. Whenever you want to remember something, whether it's a simple fact, a name, a skill, or a special event, your brain goes searching through that library and pulls out the right book for you, making the information available just when you need it. Memory isn't a single function, but rather a collection of different types that work together to help you learn and live. One of these is short-term memory, which holds information for only a brief time, usually seconds or minutes. This is what you use when you remember a phone number just long enough to dial it, or when you quickly recall a person's name you just heard. Then there's long-term memory, which is responsible for storing information over much longer periods, days, months, years, or even a lifetime. This is where you keep important personal information like your birthday, the names of close friends and family, or how to ride a bicycle. Long-term memory allows you to build knowledge over time and to carry life experiences with you. However, it's important to remember that memory isn't flawless. Sometimes details slip away, or we struggle to recall things at the moment we want. Forgetting is a natural part of how our brains work, but that doesn't mean you're doomed to forget everything. The wonderful news is that memory is a skill that you can develop and improve, just like learning to play a sport or mastering a new language. With the right methods and consistent practice, You can increase both how much you remember and how easily you retrieve that information when needed. Throughout this video, I will guide you through some practical science-backed techniques designed to help you sharpen your memory. Whether your goal is to remember English vocabulary more effectively, retain study material better, or simply keep your mind sharp and active, these tips will help you build a stronger, more reliable memory step by step. So, get ready to discover how to train your brain to remember more, forget less, and unlock your full mental potential. What is left and right brain memory? You've probably heard many people talk about the left brain and right brain and how these two halves of the brain are responsible for different ways we think, learn, and remember things. While the full reality of how our brains work is quite complex, this simple concept can be really helpful in understanding the different styles of memory and how to use them to learn better. The left side of the brain is often described as the logical, analytical, and detail-focused part. It's the side that processes facts, figures, language, and sequences. Whenever you're trying to remember specific information, like a phone number, a list of vocabulary words, or the steps to solve a math problem, your left brain is in charge. It helps you organize information, analyze patterns, and break down complex ideas into clear, manageable pieces. This logical approach makes it easier to recall details and understand structured content. On the flip side, the right side of the brain is the creative, imaginative, and emotional center. It specializes in visual memories, feelings, intuition, and recognizing patterns in a more holistic way. For example, you might remember a vacation not by the dates or facts, but by the beautiful sights, the feelings you experienced, or the music that was playing in the background. That's your right brain at work, connecting memories with emotions and vivid images. This side is also great for storytelling art and grasping the big picture beyond just isolated facts. Now, when it comes to learning something new, like English vocabulary, engaging both sides of your brain can be incredibly powerful. Using your left brain, you might focus on the spelling, pronunciation, and meaning of a new word, methodically practicing and repeating it until it sticks. At the same time, your right brain can create a mental picture, a memorable story, or even a funny association related to that word. For example, if you're learning the word breeze, you might imagine a gentle wind softly blowing through the trees and maybe even picture yourself relaxing in a hammock. This creative visualization helps the word stay in your memory far better than just repetition alone. Combining the strengths of both hemispheres, the analytical power of the left brain with the imaginative force of the right brain, creates a richer, deeper memory. This balanced approach allows you to learn more effectively because you're not just memorizing dry facts, you're also connecting them with images, emotions, and personal experiences. It makes the learning process more enjoyable, meaningful, and easier to recall later. So as you continue your English learning journey or any other study, try to consciously engage both sides of your brain. Use logic and structure to understand the details, but don't forget to add creativity and emotion to help the information truly stick. This dual approach will enhance your ability to remember new knowledge, improve your understanding, and boost your overall learning success. In summary, the left brain helps with the clear, organized, factual side of memory, while the right brain adds color, emotion, and creativity to what you learn. When you use both together, you create a powerful, dynamic way to remember and grow, making your learning not just more effective, but also more enjoyable. Why memory truly matters. Now that we have a clear understanding of what memory is and how it functions, let's take a deeper look into why memory is absolutely essential, not just for school or work, but for every single day of your life. Memory is not just about recalling facts or remembering where you put your keys. It's a fundamental part of who you are and how you navigate the world around you. Memory affects so many areas of your life, from how well you learn new things to the confidence you feel in social situations to the quality of your relationships. Here are some of the most important ways that a strong memory can make a real difference. 1. Accelerated learning and better retention. When you have a sharp memory, learning new skills and information becomes much easier and more effective. Whether you are studying a foreign language, preparing for an exam, or mastering a professional skill, your ability to remember and recall information allows you to build on what you've already learned instead of starting over every time. For example, if you are learning English, a good memory helps you remember new vocabulary, understand grammar rules more quickly, and use them correctly in conversation. This not only makes your study sessions more productive, but also more enjoyable and less frustrating because progress feels real and tangible. 2. Boosted self-confidence and preparedness. Having a reliable memory helps you feel more confident in your daily life. When you can recall important information at the right moment, such as a friend's name, a meeting's agenda, or instructions from a supervisor, you present yourself as competent and trustworthy. This confidence doesn't just impress others, it also strengthens your own self-esteem and motivation. Imagine how much better you'd feel going into a presentation or social event knowing you have the details memorized and ready to use. 3. Enhanced productivity and efficiency. Memory is a huge time saver. Instead of constantly having to look things up, reread instructions, or ask for reminders, your ability to remember details and processes makes your work faster and smoother. For instance, remembering how to use a new app or tool at work allows you to complete tasks more quickly and with fewer errors. This efficiency leads to less stress, higher quality work, and more free time for other activities or relaxation. 4. Stronger, more meaningful relationships. Memory plays a vital role in forming and maintaining strong social connections. Remembering personal details about the people in your life, like their birthdays, favorite foods, or important events, shows that you care and pay attention. These thoughtful acts, no matter how small, build trust and deepen bonds. For example, recalling that your friend loves green tea and surprising them with it shows kindness and attentiveness that people truly appreciate. Good memory helps you be a better listener and friend. 5. Smarter decision-making and problem-solving. Your memory stores all of your past experiences, the successes, failures, lessons learned, and moments of insight. When you face new challenges or choices, you can draw upon this wealth of stored knowledge to make wiser, more informed decisions. For example, if you remember feeling exhausted after skipping breakfast one day, you're more likely to maintain a healthy routine going forward. Your memory guides you toward habits and choices that serve you well and helps you avoid repeating mistakes. To sum it up, memory is the foundation that supports every other mental skill. It underlies your ability to learn new things, solve problems, build relationships, and live confidently. But here's the best news: memory is not something you are simply born with and stuck at. Like any muscle or skill, memory can be trained, strengthened, and improved through consistent practice and the right strategies. That's exactly what this video is all about. I'm going to share with you practical science-backed techniques that anyone can use to sharpen their memory and unlock the full power of their brain. These methods are simple, effective, and can be started right now, no matter your age or experience. So, are you ready to boost your memory, transform your learning, and improve your life? Let's dive into these powerful strategies and begin this exciting journey together. Simple techniques to sharpen your memory. Now that we have a clear understanding of what memory is and why it plays such a crucial role in every aspect of our lives, it's time to move on to the part that many of you are eager to hear about: practical, easy-to-use techniques that can help you enhance and sharpen your memory significantly. These methods are straightforward, don't require complicated tools or a lot of time, and can be applied by anyone regardless of age or background. Whether you want to remember information better for schoolwork or just improve your everyday mental sharpness, these strategies will be invaluable to you. Let's take a deeper dive into these techniques step by step and see how you can make the most of them in your daily life. 1. Visualization. Visualization is a powerful and creative memory technique that involves forming vivid mental images to help your brain remember information more effectively. Our brains are naturally more receptive to visual information than to plain text or numbers because images are processed more quickly and stored more securely in our memory systems. When you associate new information with a clear imaginative picture, your brain has an easier time recalling it later. This technique transforms abstract or dull data into memorable, often humorous, or unusual mental pictures which your mind loves. For example, if you need to remember a simple grocery list, such as eggs, milk, and bread, instead of repeating the words over and over, try imagining a giant egg wearing sunglasses, confidently riding a loaf of bread, as if it were a surfboard, with a sparkling waterfall of milk cascading behind. This funny and vivid scene creates a memorable story in your mind far easier to recall than the simple list of words. Visualization is extremely useful in many situations, whether you're trying to memorize vocabulary words, names of people, or complex concepts. For instance, if you meet someone named Rose, picture a bright, fresh rose flower sitting on top of their head. Next time you see that person, your brain will instinctively recall that visual cue, helping you remember their name with ease and confidence. The key to successful visualization is to make your images as bright, detailed, and imaginative as possible. The more creative and personal the mental picture, the stronger it will stick in your memory. 2. Chunking. Chunking is a highly effective memory strategy where you break down long or complex information into smaller, more manageable units, or chunks. This method works because our short-term memory has a limited capacity. It can only hold a few pieces of information at once, generally between 5 to 9 items. Chunking allows us to bypass this limit by grouping multiple pieces of information into a single meaningful chunk. A familiar example of chunking is how we remember phone numbers. Instead of trying to recall a long string of random digits like 980-654-320 all at once, we naturally divide it into smaller groups, such as 987-654-32827. This grouping is much easier for your brain to remember and retrieve. You can apply chunking to all kinds of information. For example, when studying for an exam, break large volumes of content into smaller topics or themes. When trying to learn a list of vocabulary group words by category, such as food travel or emotions. If you're remembering directions, separate the route into distinct segments, instead of thinking about the entire path all at once. How to use chunking daily. When learning vocabulary, try grouping similar words together. For example, put all kitchen-related words in one chunk: fork, spoon, plate, knife. This makes learning smoother and less overwhelming as your brain can handle smaller, organized groups of information rather than a long, unstructured list. Over time, these chunks become easier to recall and connect, which improves both your memory and your confidence. By regularly practicing chunking, you train your brain to organize and process information more efficiently. This not only helps with short-term recall, but also strengthens your ability to store data in your long-term memory. Why these techniques work so well? Both visualization and chunking align perfectly with the natural strengths and limitations of your brain. Visualization taps into your brain's excellent ability to remember images and stories, while chunking helps overcome the limited capacity of your short-term memory by grouping information meaningfully. By incorporating these techniques into your daily routines, you'll notice that learning becomes easier your recall gets faster, and even complex information feels more manageable. How to get started. Today, when you study or try to memorize something, challenge yourself to create a mental picture for each new word, concept, or item. Try to tell yourself a little story using those images. Funny or unusual stories work best. Practice grouping information into chunks whenever you face long lists, complicated ideas, or lengthy instructions. Write down your chunks or images if that helps reinforce your memory. Over time, you'll build a strong habit of using your brain's natural strengths, making learning more fun and effective. 3. Association. Association is a highly effective memory technique that involves linking new information to something you already know deeply or feel connected to. Our brains are naturally wired to make connections between ideas, memories, and experiences. When you can associate a new fact word or concept with something familiar, it helps anchor that new information in your mind, making it easier to store and retrieve later. But why does this method work so well? The brain loves relationships and patterns. When new information hooks onto something you already understand, it creates a network of connected memories rather than isolated bits of data. This networked structure is more stable and more accessible when you want to recall the information later. Instead of trying to remember a lonely fact floating in your brain, you're linking it to a whole web of familiar knowledge, which makes recall faster and more reliable. Here's a relatable example. Imagine you meet someone named Lily. You might already know about lilies, the beautiful flowers that bloom in spring, or the ones you saw in a garden. By mentally connecting the person's name to the image of the flower, you're creating a memorable mental link. The next time you see Lily, your brain automatically recalls that mental picture of the flower and helps you remember her name effortlessly. How to use association daily. You can apply association in many areas of your daily life, especially when learning something new. For example, when you learn a new English word, try to connect it to an image, a feeling, or an experience that is familiar to you. Say you want to remember the word bright. You might think of a bright sunny day or a glowing lamp in your room. These mental pictures act as memory anchors, making the word stick better in your mind. Another way to harness association is to create small stories or scenarios that weave new information together with something you already know. The more vivid, emotional, or even humorous the story, the more it will help cement the memory. For example, if you need to remember a list of words, try to build a little mental movie that connects those words in a fun or meaningful way. 4. Use mnemonics. Mnemonics are clever memory aids or shortcuts that simplify the process of remembering complex information. They often involve using the first letters of a group of words to create a new word or phrase that is easier to recall. Mnemonics transform dull, difficult-to-remember information into something fun, catchy, and much more memorable. But why are mnemonics so powerful? It's because they turn long or complicated information into something your brain loves: patterns, rhythm, and stories. The brain is much better at remembering a playful or meaningful phrase than a random string of facts. When you use mnemonics, you are essentially giving your memory a friendly map to follow. Real-life example of mnemonics. Think about the Great Lakes in North America. Many people use the mnemonic HOMES to remember them. It stands for Huron, Ontario, Michigan, Erie, Superior. Or consider the mnemonic to remember compass directions northeast-southwest. The phrase, "never eat soggy waffles," helps you recall these directions in order. How to use mnemonics daily. You can create your own mnemonics for any information you want to remember. For example, if you're trying to memorize the order of the planets in the solar system, you can use, "My very educated mother just served us noodles." This phrase corresponds to, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. Feel free to invent your own funny, silly, or personal mnemonics. The more creative and meaningful they are to you, the easier it will be for your brain to hold on to the information. Using association and mnemonics together can multiply their effectiveness. When combined, they turn the learning process into a creative and enjoyable experience that strengthens your memory and makes recall quicker and easier. These techniques don't just help you memorize. They help you understand and relate to information deeply, making learning more natural and lasting. 5. Teach someone else. One of the most effective and surprisingly powerful ways to strengthen your memory is to teach what you've just learned to someone else. When you take the time to explain a concept, skill, or piece of information to another person, your brain is pushed to organize the knowledge more clearly and meaningfully. Teaching forces you to transform passive information into active understanding, helping you remember it far better than if you only read or listened. But why exactly does teaching work so well for memory improvement? When you teach, you engage multiple parts of your brain, not just the part that recalls facts, but also those responsible for verbalizing, organizing, and connecting ideas. This deeper processing moves information from short-term memory into long-term memory, making it more durable and easier to retrieve later. Moreover, teaching exposes any gaps in your understanding. You might discover parts of the material you don't fully grasp, which encourages you to revisit those areas and reinforce your learning. This process of identifying and filling gaps strengthens your knowledge and boosts your confidence. Real-life example. Imagine you've just learned about new English vocabulary or a grammar rule. Instead of keeping it to yourself, try explaining it to a friend, a family member, or even yourself in front of a mirror. This practice might feel a bit awkward at first, but it's extremely effective. By teaching aloud, you clarify your thoughts, reinforce your learning, and improve your ability to recall and use the information in real conversations. How to use teaching in your daily routine. Make teaching a regular part of your learning process. After studying, take a few minutes to summarize what you learned and share it with someone else. If no one is available, speak out loud to yourself or write it down in your own words. This transforms passive studying into active engagement, making your brain work more intensely and effectively. The more you teach, the more your understanding deepens and the better you remember. 6. Sleep well. Sleep is one of the most important but often overlooked factors in building a strong memory. Getting enough restful sleep is essential because it allows your brain to process, consolidate, and store everything you've learned during the day. Think of sleep as the time when your brain files away information and strengthens the neural connections that form memories. Why sleep is critical for memory. During the deep phases of sleep, especially during REM sleep, your brain actively works to organize the day's new knowledge. It transfers memories from fragile short-term storage to stable long-term storage, making it easier to remember and recall information later. Without sufficient quality sleep, your brain's ability to learn, focus, and remember declines sharply. Lack of sleep affects attention, problem-solving skills, and emotional regulation. It also makes it harder to absorb new material, which slows down your learning progress. Real-life example. Have you ever pulled an all-nighter to cram for a test or prepare for a presentation only to find yourself forgetting much of the material the next day? This is your brain's way of signaling that it didn't get the rest. It needed to consolidate your learning. No matter how hard you study without good sleep, your efforts won't reach their full potential. How to improve your sleep habits daily. To maximize your memory and learning, aim for 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep each night. Here are some tips to improve your sleep. Avoid screens, phones, computers, TV at least an hour before bedtime, since blue light interferes with melatonin production, the hormone that regulates sleep. Develop a relaxing bedtime routine, such as reading a book, gentle stretching, or listening to calm music to signal your brain it's time to rest. Keep your bedroom dark, cool, and quiet to create an environment that promotes deep sleep. Try to go to bed and wake up at consistent times, even on weekends, to regulate your body's internal clock. Think of sleep as your brain's save button, the critical process that locks in everything you studied and prepares you mentally and physically for a fresh day of learning and productivity. 7. Daily practice. Just like you take care of your body with regular physical exercise to keep it strong, healthy, and flexible, your brain also needs daily mental workouts to stay sharp, agile, and efficient. Keeping your brain active with memory exercises and cognitive challenges helps maintain its flexibility and resilience. The more you engage your mind, the better it becomes at processing, storing, and recalling information. Why does daily mental practice work so effectively? Our brains are incredible organs that thrive on stimulation and challenge. When you regularly push your brain with new activities or mental tasks, it responds by growing stronger, much like how muscles develop with exercise. This process helps create and strengthen neural pathways, improving your brain's ability to learn and remember. By committing to daily mental practice, you're enhancing not only your memory, but also your attention, problem-solving skills, creativity, and overall cognitive health. The more consistently you challenge your mind, the more efficient it becomes at handling complex information, adapting to new situations, and maintaining focus for longer periods. Real-life examples of brain exercises that work. There are many fun and effective ways to keep your brain active. These include memory games like matching cards or digital apps designed to improve recall, puzzles such as crosswords, Sudoku, and logic problems that engage your critical thinking, learning new skills such as picking up a new language or playing a musical instrument, reading and writing daily to expand vocabulary and comprehension, brain teasers and strategy games that require planning and strategic thinking. For example, language learners who practice speaking, listening, and memorizing vocabulary daily experience notable improvements in fluency and retention. Similarly, regularly solving puzzles and brain games helps keep your mind sharp and delays cognitive decline as you age. How to make daily mental practice a natural part of your life. Start by setting aside just 10 to 15 minutes a day for a mental workout. It doesn't need to be overwhelming or time-consuming. Small, consistent efforts make a big difference. Here are some easy ways to begin. Use memory training apps like Lumosity or Elevate to practice targeted exercises. Challenge yourself to memorize a short list poem or set of vocabulary words instead of writing them down. Incorporate brain-stimulating activities into your routine, such as reading a book, journaling, or learning a new fact every day. Engage in mindful activities that require focus, such as meditation or even coloring. Try to limit passive consumption of content and instead actively engage with information like summarizing what you've read or teaching it to someone else. Don't feel pressured to try everything at once. Pick one or two techniques that feel enjoyable and manageable and practice them regularly. As you build confidence and discipline, you can add new challenges that keep your brain growing. The importance of patience and consistency. Improving your memory and cognitive abilities isn't about instant results or sudden genius. It's about small daily improvements that accumulate over time. Just like building muscle training, your brain requires patience, persistence, and consistent effort. Even a few minutes of mental exercise each day will start to make a difference. Over weeks and months, you'll notice that information sticks better, focus improves, and your confidence grows. The bigger picture: mental fitness for life. By making mental practice a habit, you're not only boosting your ability to learn English or remember facts, you're strengthening your overall mental health. A well-trained brain supports creativity, emotional balance, decision-making, and problem-solving, helping you navigate both work and life challenges more effectively. Your daily mental workouts build resilience that serves you in all areas of your life, helping you stay sharp as you age, adapt to new situations, and continually grow. Let's keep moving forward, because next I want to share with you some truly powerful bonus tips that will help you make your brain even stronger, your memory sharper, and your mind clearer every single day. These bonus tips complement everything we've already discussed and focus on how lifestyle choices and smart tools can create the perfect environment for your brain to thrive. First and foremost, one of the most important things you can do for your memory and overall brain health is to take good care of your body, beginning with your diet and physical activity. Our brain is an organ like any other, and it needs the right fuel and exercise to perform at its best. Eating a healthy and balanced diet rich in brain-boosting nutrients can significantly improve your cognitive functions, including memory, concentration, and problem-solving skills. Focus on including foods such as nuts and seeds, like walnuts, almonds and flax seeds, which are packed with antioxidants and healthy fats that protect brain cells. Berries, blueberries, strawberries, and blackberries that contain flavonoids and other compounds shown to enhance memory and delay brain aging. Leafy green vegetables, such as spinach, kale, and broccoli, full of vitamins and minerals that support cognitive health. Whole grains like oats, quinoa, and brown rice that provide a steady release of glucose, the brain's primary energy source. Fatty fish, such as salmon, mackerel, and sardines rich in omega-3 fatty acids, essential for neuron function and brain plasticity. Equally important is staying well hydrated by drinking plenty of water throughout the day. Even mild dehydration can cause difficulties in concentration and memory retention. At the same time, it's wise to limit the intake of processed sugars, refined carbohydrates, and unhealthy fats, as they can negatively affect brain function and overall mental clarity. Alongside nutrition, regular physical exercise plays a crucial role in boosting brain performance. You don't need a rigorous workout plan. Even a daily walk, gentle stretching, or light aerobic activity helps increase blood circulation to the brain, supplying it with oxygen and essential nutrients. Exercise also helps reduce stress hormones, improves mood, and enhances sleep quality, all of which support better memory and cognitive function. In this digital age, technology offers us fantastic tools to support and improve brain health and memory training. There are numerous apps designed to engage your mind with challenging games and exercises that target memory, attention processing speed, and problem-solving. Some widely used brain training apps include Lumosity, which offers personalized games scientifically designed to strengthen various mental skills. Elevate, focusing on communication, math, and analytical skills. Peak, providing daily mental workouts tailored to your goals. Anki and Quizlet, popular for flashcards and spaced repetition, especially useful for language learning and memorizing facts. Using these apps regularly can turn training your brain into an enjoyable daily habit. They add variety and challenge to your mental exercise, making it easier to stay motivated. Additionally, practical organizational tools like digital calendars, to-do lists, and reminder apps help you reduce mental clutter, freeing your brain to focus on what matters most. Combining these smart digital tools with healthy lifestyle habits creates a robust foundation that supports sustained mental growth, improves memory retention, and enhances your ability to learn new skills efficiently. To recap all we've covered, we explored the nature of memory and why it is essential for learning, confidence, productivity, relationships, and decision-making. You learned practical and straightforward techniques to sharpen your memory, including visualization, chunking association, mnemonics, teaching others, getting quality sleep, and engaging in daily mental practice. We also discussed bonus tips, emphasizing the importance of good nutrition, regular physical activity, hydration, restful sleep, and the intelligent use of digital brain training apps and organizational tools. Now here's the most important advice I can give you. Start with just one technique today. Pick the method that feels easiest, most fun, or most relevant to your current needs, and commit to practicing it regularly. Consistency is the key. With small, steady steps, you'll soon notice improvements in how easily you remember information, how well you focus, and how efficiently you learn. If this video has been helpful and inspiring, please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe to PowerHab English. Your support helps us reach and empower more learners around the world who want to improve their memory and their lives. We also want to hear from you. Please leave a comment and tell us. Which memory technique are you most excited to try? How do you currently work on improving your focus or memory? Your personal experiences and tips might just be the encouragement someone else needs. Thank you so much for watching all the way through. Remember, your brain is a remarkable and adaptable organ with incredible potential. By training it patiently and consistently, you unlock new levels of mental strength, clarity, and creativity. Keep your curiosity alive, stay committed to growth, and never stop believing in your ability to learn and improve. Your journey to a sharper memory and a stronger mind starts now. See you in the next video.